Yeah, I think it's something that we've talked about over the last couple of weeks is like removing pressure. I think, when I did a deep dive on this team, and we've talked about it a lot, everybody strives for perfection, and everybody, as an elite athlete, wants to be perfect every single day. That's why they are where they are. And I think stripping that back a little bit and just giving them the freedom and the confidence to be able to make mistakes. We've talked about what every single person is good at and what we need from them to contribute to the team for us to be good. And I think just giving them that kind of, that space to express themselves and take the pressure off. I think going into the pens, we knew that it was a chance for us to gain experience. Like, we always want to win and we always want to beat rival teams, but there was no pressure on us. It's something that we do every single day. I think you could see that. Like, we have taken pens every day for the last 3 weeks, and sometimes we put something on it and we play for like, it's funny, Sid said at the end, we all get a Champions League point because we always run a table every day with something competitive. But yeah, I've just asked them to really enjoy themselves, enjoy the game, enjoy each other, enjoy the struggle. I think the first 20 minutes was a struggle, but we put ourselves through that and we had to enjoy it instead of get stressed out by it. I think in past weeks we've got stressed out by struggle. So finding ways to enjoy struggle, finding ways to enjoy winning, finding ways to enjoy each other and just be the best versions of ourselves has been the main focus for the last couple of weeks.
Thanks.
Damien?
Kevin, over to you.
No, you're good.
How did you sort of balance Kristen Press minutes, which is, did you want to give her 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or how was that process?
Yeah, I think obviously the game is 0-0, right? And it's her first game back for a long time. And I think it's managing everything. It's managing the physical piece. It's managing the mental piece. I knew for a fact that she was going to take a pen. That's something she's done her whole career in high-pressured situations. So I think just balancing it out, and it kind of worked out with Keijo as well. They were both on minute restrictions coming in off their first game. So, something that you don't see very often, but something that was important for the team is that we just shared that load in that last 20 minutes once Messiah kind of started to feel a cramp a little bit. So I think I have to give the credit to obviously Katie Johnson as well. I think to come in and come out is actually really difficult and sometimes hard to understand, but I explained it to her, and she is on minute restrictions and she's returning also from an injury. So something that you don't see often and something that was a little bit out of the ordinary, but in the moment felt like it was the best decision to split that between the quality of nines that we do have for sure.
This is the first semi-final in club history. Obviously, it's a summer tournament. Some players are missing for the Olympics. Kind of, what does that mean for this club as a whole?
Yeah, I think we spoke about this Summer Cup. Like we said at the start, this Summer Cup is valuable, like to win. Winning is everything, and winning is so important to players, to staff, to confidence, to being able to continue to grow. So, the day what we talked about the objectives on the slide, the first thing was win. I think every club is probably saying the same. You want to set out to win. You obviously have to find the balance of giving players minutes, building relationships. I think this is probably the first time that we've been able to play a consistent team as well. And we have to use this kind of window to our advantage. We have a lot of players still here, and it means we can continue to grow and build. So, again, everyone is in this environment because they strive to win. And it doesn't matter what you win sometimes, you've just got to win. And I think, finding this winning mentality and spirit and the dog in this team, we have to continue to bring out of them. But I think you see, right, when they're confident and they're enjoying it and they're having fun, it just speaks volumes to how much they can do together as a group.
Yeah, and then for Kennedy stepping up as the final penalty taker at 17, what does that say about her confidence and kind of what have you seen?
Yeah, I spoke to her and I said to Alyssa and Kennedy, like, for me, these are moments in Alyssa and Kennedy's career that are going to be in the long run, are going to happen to them over and over again. And I hope it happens to them in really big environments, whether it be NWSL championships, whether it be World Cup finals. Like, I hope this is something that they both continue to grow on. They both take them in practice every day and they're both confident in it. So I always say it, like, the NWSL doesn't care about how old you are. Professional sports doesn't care about how old you are. It cares about how much you feel that you can do it and how confident you are. And all 5 of our penalty takers tonight stepped up, and I think credit to Alyssa as well, stepped up in an environment where, she's creating opportunities for herself and she's playing really well, and that penalty was really big for her to get the ball in the back of the net. She had none. I was so shocked. She was just ready. I mean, she's been ready now, and it's just been finding the right moment for her, for the team, for everybody to get her on the field. And I asked her if she was ready, and she didn't even flinch. So I think she's been ready for this moment for a while. I think, she didn't know when it was going to come. I think that's sometimes really hard. You can't predict when it's going to happen. But I think this was a perfect night for it. I think, this game created a lot of atmosphere. It created a great environment. And I think to be able to get on the field for her and take a penalty as well is something that's huge for her, but also for this club and this team moving forward, getting some confidence for people.
Last question. Sure. Can you talk a little bit more about Madison Curry, her performance tonight, obviously winning player of the match, and just the ways that she continues to step up for the team?
Yeah, I think what's really impressive about Curry is she just takes everything in her stride. She plays centre back, she's played left back, just the versatility to play at the back. I do think that the support she gets from this team and just how, I don't even know the right word, like she always strives for more. Like she can never say, yeah, I had a good game today. She's always like, yeah, it was okay. And I think that mindset's going to get her a long way. I hope that she takes this and grows in confidence with it. But I think when you look at the people that she has surrounding her, with Sarah, with Meg, with Jazz, all players that have played in this league and been put in similar situations to her, they've all had rookie seasons. They've all had moments that have, been high pressure, and they've really helped guide her through it. And I think she's really finding her feet here in this team. And I think her future is really, really bright.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Well, I think it was a lot of emotion. So many ups and downs over the last 2 years. Definitely moments where I didn't think I'd be able to make it. And I think sometimes as athletes, wherever we are, we're looking for the next thing, the next medal. And I was just trying so hard this week to be present and know that it was pretty symbolic. Like I just ran on the field for the last 5 minutes, but it was me making it, and it was a lot of determination and patience that was required for me to just run on the field tonight. And I really see it as the beginning of the next part of my journey.
Is the battle, is it more mental and physical, or is it road back a little?
I mean, I think both. I would give it 50 and 50, and it was both. It was really hard on both sides because I think there was nothing that could have happened that would have made me stop trying or stop believing. So like that part was easy for me, but it was really hard to understand like why this was happening and what it was in my life. And mentally, I really took the perspective of like, why is this happening? What's the gift? What is the lesson? What's the opportunity here? And over the last 2 years, like I transformed my life. Like I moved home, I settled, I figured out who I was, and like I never thought I was gonna have like the existential athlete retirement crisis. I never thought I was, but I kind of did. Being out of the game 2 years, I've known my whole life myself as this excellent athlete. That's what I am, and it's just like, how do I find my value when I can't do the thing I'm good at? And in a lot of ways, I found a lot of peace, and I hope now, when I am returning to the pitch, I hope that I can keep that peace and not return as the same person that I was, but return a little bit more grounded and a little bit more sturdy.
All right, Marissa, go ahead.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit more about your feelings leading up to the match and kind of what that was like when you went on the field?
Yeah, so I was just telling myself, like, be present, be present. I've been going to the farmer's market every Sunday. When I go to the farmer's market, I tell myself, like, okay, shop with, like, your intuition, like, taste things and smell things and, like, look people in the eye, because so much of our life is, like, digital and monotonous. And so I was like, I'm going to smell the grass and I'm going to hear the crowd, because you, like, never hear the crowd. But truth be told, it was very overwhelming, and I was just, like, I was smiling, like, ear to ear, but, like, I don't know what I was feeling or what was happening. It was just sort of like a roar of emotions that like maybe someday I'll be able to process. Hi.
Can you talk a bit about the journey with your teammates? Obviously, you did a lot of healing, recovery, and training on your own, but what it is to be back with the team and what it's been like to interact with them, how the support that they give you.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest surprises was how much I missed being in a team environment. I always thought when I was playing, like, that this professional athlete life really wasn't for me, like living in a hotel, communal living, eating what you're told, like it wasn't like my healthy, natural state. And then when I was out of it, I really missed having that support system. And I think the thing that I love so much about a team, and like especially like the women's soccer world, is just like how authentic these women are, right? Like the banter, the laughs, the jokes, like, you know, sometimes the sport itself is so intense, but like the way we get through it collectively is always like what we call gal culture. I think you're familiar. It's like being unashamed at like your struggle and being able to share that and relate to that. And I don't think there's a lot of spaces that women have that opportunity. And I'm very, very excited to be back in the locker room. And this team has been so supportive. Like, it feels like the girls that have been there from the beginning have like seen so much, and a lot of our team's new, but the new players are very young. And so it was like, you know, they were watching 2015 World Cup as like little kids, you know, and now they're like, oh my God, you're on our team. And I'm like, yeah, this is crazy. I'm literally double your age. But there's like a huge opportunity to like mentor and like pass the torch to the next generation. It's really special.
All right, we can only take one more question, and then we got to go to there, and then we'll come back.
Yeah. When you step up to take that penalty kick, what's going through your mind, and kind of once you score and kind of
Well, this is going to sound cuckoo, but that's just me, I guess. I was thinking about how I learned at some point about how athletes are vessels, and how we have this idea of like turning humans into idols. But really, when you think of like the best player in the world, you think about Lionel Messi, like he's a vessel and everyone believes in him and they channel their energy, and he just sort of transmits that. And I think it's a really important thing that I've learned about sports, because it kind of takes the pressure off you. Like when I entered that moment, I was like, remember that you're a vessel. And like I was thinking about the fact that in this stadium, like every person, like even the San Diego fans were like cheering for me in a way, you know. And I was like, just be a vessel, you know. But then yeah, it was a little overwhelming. I think I'm gonna go to bed tonight and be like, really? I played like 3 minutes and then took a penalty. Like, this is just like a lot.
All right, Steph?
Thanks. Kristen, you talked about how it felt a little symbolic, like you just said, 3 minutes and a penalty, but that penalty did not look symbolic. It looked quite sharp.
Thank you.
Penalties are notorious for being very, a mental game. I'm just wondering, for you in particular, does sinking that kind of help with the whole, like, all right, I'm back, like, stop asking about the knee, we're going to play, we're going to go forward?
I mean, yes and no. I think there's a couple of things. I feel really good. I feel like I have my center of gravity. I know exactly who I am. I mean, in training, like the couple of moments that I've been in, like 11s in my team training, it literally feels like riding a bike. Like, I know exactly the kind of player that I am, how I like the ball. I can communicate to my midfield and my defenders, like, this is how you find me. Like, this is not how you find the other forwards, but this is like how I play and this is how I succeed. So like in that regard, I feel like myself, and I think sharpness comes, and I think I'm in a unique situation where I don't feel a lot of pressure because it's just taken me so long to be able to run on the field. I think there's a lot of grace now. But like with the penalty, I actually think it was like probably the first time that the larger world has seen that I have my center of gravity and I have like my footing, and I am the same player that I was, hopefully a little better.
Thank you.
All right, last question goes to Jackie.
Hi, Kristen. Obviously talking about the journey, there's a role.
He's getting married tomorrow, so we can forgive him. Yeah. That must be his bachelor's.
Yeah, it gotta be.
Yeah.
His best friend.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Jackie.
Thinking about the journey, just so many different points where you're talking about the lessons that you learned, but for you, just like how have you had joy throughout those moments leading up to just where you are right now, and just kind of seeing all that come to fruition at least?
Yeah, I think that a lot of it is about peace and like the detachment of the idea that you have value because of what your output is, right? I don't know if you're familiar, but I'm an Enneagram 3, and like a 3 is like generally a person that thinks that their value in the world is like what they contribute, and they look for external validation because of their like childhood patterns, right? So I think over the last 2 years, I've just done a lot of learning, and I think about like my inner wisdom and my inner self and my like inherent value that comes from that. And I think that's really what's provided me a lot of joy. And I think it's like before I had happiness, and now I have like an enduring joy that I've been able to find, that I can find like sitting on my couch doing nothing. And I think hopefully it allows me to be my best version of myself as a player, because I definitely feel like I've like opened up a part of myself that I didn't know before that I really like. And so hopefully there's an element of Kristen on the field that gets opened up and awakened, and all of you can enjoy that as well.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.